Pius said, as Africans, we are a community and are always willing to help each other. America was built on immigrants, and just like Pius, there are millions of people who come to the United States every day without proper documentation in hopes of living the American dream. This is Pius from Cameroon, and he's going to tell his story as he came here to the United States on asylum.
Yeah, okay. My name is Pius Yola. I was born in Yola from Cameroon. Yeah, I came here in March 29, 2003. Coming from Cameroon. So, just we don't have a direct plane. So, so 6 hours from Cameroon and then 8 hours from France to America. So that's total 14 hours. Yeah. So I came back here because I had a little bit of power back home, so I had to kill my country. So I arrived at Washington Airport, and so my friend was living here. So we had somebody pick me up at the airport where I spent the night, and so pick me up at the ground. You know, you just came from Africa. The things are completely different. You know, you got to be on the bus yourself. You know, you don't even know. For example, I'm taking an example. When I had to take the bus the first time, I didn't know what to do. Do I give him the money? Do I put it here? You see what I mean? I had to wait on the back to see how everybody else is doing to do. And even how do you pay it? I remember one time I was asking a guy, where did the 98 stop? He said, you can't see the stop sign there? You see what I mean? Because that was obvious for him, but it wasn't for me. So those are the little stuff that, you know what I mean? You have to go from doing something different to it's completely different. And you come from Africa, so you know it's a two different world. Like able to work. Because when I came from home, my wife, she was pregnant. So my oldest son is 10. So he was born in November 2003, and I came here in March 2003. So you know what it is. Even though you came here, you were 17. You see what I mean? So I had to send money back home to my wife. You know what I mean? I'd be there living with a friend, but my friend was really kind enough to just keep me there because we were really close friends. So he can keep me in his house for I stayed there almost 2 years, you know. I remember riding on a train, for example, to go to the immigration office in Philadelphia, and then seeing everybody else at peace, but you the door all quietly like, I'm not going to have the chance to be on this bus another day, you know what I mean? Because it's your struggle, mentally, it's quite difficult. You need some team around you to have that. It's not really easy, not easy to deal with at all. And mostly he's the one, he told me, he asked me to, he sent me to some people like some lawyers. There are some lawyers that were going to help me be able to make my documentation and everything. Because, you know, you just don't come and do something because you don't know how it works. So with a lawyer and everything, that was another big part of the thing. You know what I mean? Because not only did I have to send money to my wife and I had to pay a lawyer. You know what I mean? But the first time that I applied, the person helped me, you know what I mean, put the stuff together, write it down, and then send it to the immigration. It was like a year after I was here.
Okay.
A year. I did that a year after. Because you're supposed to do that within the year. But I did that a year after. Like, I came in 2003, and I think it was almost April 2004 that I did my application. And so in May 2004, I was received by the officer, and that was another big deal. It was in New Jersey somewhere, I don't remember. It was a notice. I don't know why my case went in New Jersey, even though I was here that they could send it to Philadelphia. That was closer, or I don't know. They went in New Jersey, so I remember taking like 2 trains. Yeah, because I had people, you look for the information. I took 2 trains to go there.
Oh,
I know I'm new in the country, so I'm thinking, so you like going with the guy and say, okay, I'm supposed to go here. What do I take? He said, okay, you're gonna take this train, gonna leave in here, and then there you're gonna take this one. So I remember when I went there, and then we had the interview. Yeah, because my friend took me because he had to translate for the interview. He had to translate. That was good the first time because he took me on his car. And he went because my English wasn't as perfect as it can be today. So he had to translate because it's true I was speaking a little bit of English, but you need to really express what exactly. So so that was really a challenge, a big challenge. The challenge was the money. Not only that you're missing your family, and you come to the town because of the time that it's taking. You know what I mean? You start asking yourself, is it going to work? Am I going to leave? Are it going to be? You see what I mean? Because when the answer was favorable, so of course you're looking at going to the judge and stuff like that. So we needed a lawyer. So in my church, they had the Brighton there because I went to my place and I told him I need to see a lawyer. I need a lawyer for my case. And he said, we have some lawyers that are advertising behind our birth. So I went to see the lawyer, that worked. But the good thing is that she gave me the opportunity to pay little by little.
Okay.
So that was the good thing that I needed a certain amount for her to start the job. So and we did that. I remember because it was I have to be at the church. At September 29. Yes, September 29, I think 2000. Yes, 2005. Yeah. So when we went to the job, and the decision came like April 2nd, 2007. So like 2 years later. You come. Because when I was coming, I was thinking, okay, I can go back to school, I can do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because I did some college back home and everything. But those are the stuff that you cannot do. You don't have the papers, you don't have it, so there's no way you can do that. You know what I mean? And even if you want to, you still have to pay the school.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And there was a time you don't have a car and anything, you know what I mean? It's cold. I remember one day, and I see this guy waiting for the bus, and it's so cold. I'm like, will I be able to do this? You know what I mean? Getting out of work, getting to school. No, I think with a car would be easier, But I didn't feel like doing it. I went and registered, and then when I saw the bill, I think 570 for the semester, I couldn't afford it. So that's how I gave up. You know what I mean? That's why I gave up with school. I said to myself, okay, it's gonna be, in Africa, that's a good thing. You go to school, like my family, we need to work. We used to work in the field, so you can do both. You can just put you in the office, you will do it, and they can put you in the field, you will do it. So I said to myself, okay, if my wife tomorrow comes and she want to go to school, good for her. But now, I think I just have to fight the next one. Because I had the latest friend I was playing soccer with. But one thing that hit me when I came in America, I remember, that's important, when my friend came and got me from Greyhound, I was coming from Washington, so he got me there, and we came through all these cars dealerships. The first thing that I put in my mind, it was that you cannot impress nobody else. That was really important for me. Because America is not like if you were in Africa. You can be the guy that works in a restaurant and still be able to feed your family and take care of yourself. You see, that was the thing that I realized. You know what I mean? That even though I was working in a restaurant, when my friend left because he got married 2 years after, I was able to have a small house on my own. You know what I mean? Living there, not making that much, maybe $10 an hour, but I had a house. I could send some money to my wife. You see, and I realized that I can realize all this with the leader that I have. So I got used to living on that level. You know what I mean? Not wanting too much. Because you get in trouble when you want too much. And live above your means. Because I learned to live according to my means, making money. So that was the thing. That's why I don't regret anything. You see, today I'm in a house and everything. I'm not a guy who went to school and making too much money. I'm a guy really, who's making maybe 2 jobs. And I have to wake up early, I think, and sleep at 11, but I'm still able to make it. You know, or today I have 4 kids. We're waiting for them to grow a little bit. Maybe tomorrow my wife coming back with a nice trailer from back home. Maybe she'll have a little bit of a school year, and then maybe have a better job, you see what I mean? And then together, you see, they say that one struggle, 2 can make it. So today, I think that's what we have been, and I have a chance to have a wife that is looking at things the same way as me. I would say just that it took time, you see what I mean? Because of the problem of the immigration problem, it took time to get where I wanted to be. You know what I mean? Because, you know, when you still without paper, you even walking, the school is good in America, nobody will stop you for anything like that, you know what I mean? Because you're afraid at any time, you're not secure. There's that lack of security because you don't have the papers, you can't do anything. I remember going to try to make because when you apply for asylum, they give you a working permit for 1 year. And so usually they don't renew it. So I applied in 2004, so I had a working permit that was going to last until 2005. So and then I never got renewed. They tried to renew it. They said to me that they gave me the first one in a mistake. It was a mistake giving me the first one. So you have a job already with this working permit. So you just have to be praying so that they don't check your paper out every day. Yeah, because with the asylum, you got to wait 5 years when you become citizen. When you have this green card for 5 years, then you can become a citizen. So I think I called my lawyer and I let her know that it was time for me to do that. So we did apply and everything. She applied for me and then they called me for the interview. So yeah, because it was a little bit challenging because I didn't know, I wasn't sure. You know, it's not a given, you know what I mean? You still have to go there and then everything. But everything else was okay. You're going to be a citizen and what are the dates you want when you have the 18th? Because I don't know when I made the interview. I think I did the interview when you become a citizen on the 18th of June. Yeah, so it was really, how am I going to say, because I went with the whole family, and I remember calling my wife that everything is done, and she was just screaming on the phone. The children were happy. So you can imagine I had to cool down because why? Because of all I went through. I was finally there. You know, I never thought I was going to be there. You know what I mean? So it was a relief. It was really a lot of joy that I could express because I would have been like birthday. You know what I mean? So because it took the time. I'm just going to put it this way. I remember the lawyer, because you know how you talk to us, do that. When my wife came, she said to my wife, you know what? I see your husband. You cannot imagine it's like going from A to Z because he was such a sad guy when I was working with him. I could feel that sadness in him. But seeing now that you're here, seeing him, I'm really happy to see him the way he is. He's more relaxed, he's happy, he's different. You know, and that's the thing. It's because that's why being a citizenship wasn't as much as when I got my wife here at the airport and everything. Because that was the main thing. Will I be able to bring them? Yes, that was really difficult. That was the most important thing. You know what I mean? I knew I was already here. I could find a way to stay, but them, they were there. And me, without them, I couldn't afford it. That was my thing.